is Rogers TV.
Welcome to this edition of Dufferin Life. I'm your host, Tina Avery. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a wonderful holiday, and I'm going to wish everyone a happy new year as we start a new year, 2023, filled with excitement and joy, and I'm hoping for you, filled with prosperity, health, and happiness. I'm excited, can you tell? I'm super excited today for my guests that we have here. I have a local author, aged 9, who just wrote and illustrated her own book, Amaya James and her father, Andrew James. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Well, Andrew, you've been on the show before,
yes.
So this is old hat for you. But Amaya, I'm so thrilled. So you wrote your own book.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about it. What's it called?
This book is called Afro No.
Can I hold that?
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to hold that. And tell me about what it's about.
It's about like the journey of hair, like the bond between hair and a girl.
Okay.
And it's also about this girl. She has a very, very, very big afro, and it's about how things get caught in it and how things are not really normal with her because of her big afro.
Okay, that's impressive. So yeah, I mean, being girls with hair and even gentlemen with hair as well. It's very challenging. I know for me, because my hair is curly, it's an effort to make it look like I didn't come out of a windstorm every minute of the day. So a little bit about the book. So it says it's called Afro No. Is her afro a character in the book?
Yes, Afro is a character.
Okay.
Afro is like Emmy's pet because she doesn't really have a pet, so I think it would be too much work for her to have a pet because of Afro, and like to groom a dog or like a cat or a pet and hair, that's like a lot.
That is a lot. That's way too much for anybody, I think. So tell me, my dear, what made you want to write a book?
Well, I originally wanted to write a chapter book.
Okay.
But that needed a lot more work than a children's book like this one. So then I don't know, I just came up with this idea and thought, wow, what if I actually wrote a book? That would be really cool to be like the only girl in my classroom to write a book, the only kid in my classroom to write a book.
Well, I'm going to say that you're probably, I know there are some other young authors that are out there, but this is very, very impressive. And so you decided to write the book, and you also illustrated the book as well, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what was it like? So when you were writing the book, what made you think of, or how, actually you've already told me that, so there's so many different things that I want to ask you. But how did it work with illustrating the book?
So
how does that work? Tell me. I've never done it, so tell me all about it.
So the first page is actually a sketch that I traced onto my iPad.
Okay.
I took a picture of it and I used this app and I traced it. And then the rest of the pictures I just drew on the app.
Okay.
Instead of the app's called Procreate.
Okay.
And the rest of the pictures I just drew on the app to match with the words.
Wow, I need to take some lessons from you. I really do, because I'm just I thought it was a lot more complicated than that. So tell me, Andrew, tell me, Dad. So what did you think when she said she wanted to write a book? What went through your mind?
Well, I know she loves to draw. She's been drawing since she was 4, and Julianne, my wife, and I, we identified that. So we bought her a tablet, we got her Procreate, and she started drawing pictures. And I think she was doodling this picture on paper, and she showed her sister, and her sister said, "You got to show Dad." She came and showed me, and I was like, this is a pretty cool concept, a girl who gets stuff stuck in her hair. So I started talking to her, tell me a little bit more about it, and then she started talking about the story, and it all just came together, and then we started writing down some of the words, and then she drew all the pictures, and then it just came together, and we showed Mom, and Mom was like, this is great. You know, she put her editing touch on it because she's the proofreader and the grammatical police.
And you can talk to your mom too, yeah.
And we're like, you know what, we need to put this out, and we uploaded it on Amazon, and we published a book.
Wow, that is I can't even, I'm speechless. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed by this. So when did you write the book?
Well, I started writing the book in August, and I finished the book on October 31st.
Okay. And then it was uploaded to Amazon. And I hear a rumor that about a week or so after it was uploaded, that it was in first place in the beauty section on Amazon. Mm-hmm. What did you think about that? That's crazy.
They woke me up like very, very, very early, and they like carried me downstairs, and then they were like, "Isn't that crazy?" And I was like crying. I was in tears.
Yeah.
It was so overwhelming.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be, but that, like, I'm so proud of you. We just met tonight, and I'm so proud of everything that you've done. So do you think that are there more books coming, do you think?
I think Afro Knows should have its own series, yeah.
I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And you've already done TV. You've done newspaper interviews, and so do you find it overwhelming to talk about it, or you just like talking about what you've done?
It's just normal.
And what about you, Dad? Is it normal for you taking your daughter on a press tour?
Well, you know, it's like Julianne and myself, we're so like impressed just to see how she carries herself and how she conducts herself in interviews, and we're like, wow. So we're just in awe, and we're just here to kind of support her, and wherever it takes us, we go.
Yeah, you have a great family. I've met your parents a few times. You've got a nice family, and you've got an older sister. Do you have more brothers and sisters?
I have a younger sister, and I have a dog.
And you have a dog. My goodness, that's impressive too. So what's your dog's name?
Jax.
Jax. Oh, very cool. I have a dog too. He weighs probably 3 times what you weigh. He's 125 pounds.
Wow.
He's a crazy big guy. But anyways, we're not here to talk about my dog. We're here to talk about your book. So tell me, what can kids learn about your book?
They can learn to love themselves and accept themselves, even if they have like features of themselves like big hair or...
Yeah, something that they might not feel happy about, that might make them feel a little bit insecure.
Maybe like big ears. All my characters have big ears.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with big ears. I have big ears. You just can't see it with all the hair. That's all. I hide it with my hair. Yeah, you know what? I think this is a wonderful thing to talk to people about at your age, and to realize that, you know, people don't feel comfortable sometimes, and we should all feel comfortable with who we are, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So so Afro is going to go into are you going to start writing another book right away, or are you just going to ride the fame?
I'm going to ride the fame.
So you've even done a book signing. What was that like?
It was very cool to see like people who bought my book. Mm-hmm. And after that, I got a bad hand cramp because of signing all the books. But it was really fun and cool. I met some pretty nice people. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just like writing my signature into books. It feels like weird, but it feels cool.
Yeah, no, you know what? It's definitely very, very cool. So where do you think Afro's going to go from here? What kind of challenges do you think we're going to face coming up? Do you have any ideas yet? Or you don't want to tell us, maybe?
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. Absolutely. So, and then you've already done another TV interview, and that you weren't afraid to do that either?
No.
No? What makes you so brave?
These guys.
Yeah. Your parents, right? Yeah. So a good support system, I think, is a wonderful thing. Where's the book available, Dad? Tell us all where we can find the book if we don't already have it.
Well, you know where it's available. Where's it available?
It's available in Booklore in Orangevale, and it's also available on Amazon.
On Amazon. Amazing. And I hear rumor, too, at the Shelburne Library? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I'm so thrilled for you. And so, do you think you're going to get to chapter books? Do you think, is that what you want to be when you grow up, or this is what you want to be for now, and then you'll decide when you get older?
When I get older, I want to work for Disney because I just like drawing animations and making characters come to life. But I also do enjoy writing. Mm-hmm. But I mainly like drawing.
Okay. Well, I'm so impressed. You're just so very well spoken. You're so very polite. You just know exactly what you're looking for. And I think that, so if there were some kids out there that maybe by seeing you said, I want to write a book, what would you tell them to do first?
Like in the step process or just?
Yeah, in the step process.
I would tell them to make like a rough copy of their story and then go from there and like write the story, fix corrections, and then draw the pictures more clear.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there that that want to write a book that maybe don't know how to draw, but they can find someone. Maybe they could find you to help them. Yeah. And I think that it's really important that that you're here, because I think it's great that you're showing everybody not just what you've done, but that it's possible to happen. There's definitely things that can happen if you put your mind to it.
She was going to bed one night, and she said, Dad, can I tell you something? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I love that my book is inspiring people. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
It is very cool. And I'm gonna tell you something. You are inspiring me. Not just your book, but you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because you just have this aura about you. You're just so very positive. And I love that you're sending out a positive message for other people, and that you're wanting to share that with everyone. And you're not going to stop, right? You're going to keep going. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But for now, you're just going to enjoy being you. Yeah. And going to school, hanging out with the family.
I don't like school.
You don't like school? Was your teacher impressed when you when she found out you wrote, or he or she found out you wrote a book?
She was very impressed. She, what was it that she said? She said something about probably being the only kid in school.
If she's ever taught, yeah.
Who's an illustrator, an author, yeah.
Well, you're the only person of your age that I've ever met that's ever written a book, for sure. And I think I told you when we were off screen that I wanted to write a book, and I still haven't done it yet. And I'm way, way older than you. So what should I do? Should I start writing my story?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always wanted to write a children's book, so that's good. So any advice for me? Where should I start? A good idea, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just keep taking notes. Bring your notepad everywhere that you go.
That's good. That's good advice, for sure. And I can't wait. So when do you think you're going to start on your next one?
Probably next year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I want to thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
It was my pleasure. And thank you for joining us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
This is you volunteering at Rogers TV. Directing TV is the cat's meow. This is you on location reporting on special events in your community. Way to go, Ace. This is you editing video at Rogers TV. Now you're cooking with gas. Why are you there when you can be here, creating TV at your fingertips? Hot diggity dog.
I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Allison.
On behalf of the Parenting Show, we want to wish you and yours very happy holidays.
We hope you get an opportunity to relax and enjoy each other as a family.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Welcome back to Dufferin Life. If you're just tuning in, you tuned in at a great time. I am floored that we're going to be talking about something that I didn't even think existed anymore, and I'm thrilled that it's actually thriving. Joining me today, we have Satin Ward. She is from the Stars United Baton Club.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Thanks so much for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having me.
I'm and I said it. I'll be honest. I didn't even think that Baton. I mean, I know in the United States that Baton and cheerleading is like it's super huge
because it's attached to the marching bands in the United States. So everybody's twirling from elementary school, high school, and then of course there's college scholarships in it. So
wow,
big. Yeah.
It is. And now, well, and I'm not saying and now because it didn't just start today. But when I seen that you had opened a club here in Orangeville, and to find out that you have more, tell us a little bit about the club and how it works. And
yeah, so very excited. We're in our 50th year. So
wow.
Seeing that Baton is around. Stars United Baton Club started in 1972, so before me, in Richmond
but not
Hill.
Before me. No, actually, that was the year I was born.
Great year. So we're celebrating our 50th year this year.
Amazing.
We started in Richmond Hill.
Okay.
A small club. It's a club I grew up in. So I started twirling and then became a coach, and then my coach retired, and then I took over the club and renamed it Stars United Baton Club. Classes in Richmond Hill, Newmarket, and we know that Orangeville is a thriving community. It's not really too far from Newmarket, so we thought we'd bring the activity out this way, and there seems to be good reception for it. So we're happy to be out here.
That's amazing. I mean, I had a baton when I was young, and but it was just something that somebody passed down to me, or we bought at the store because I said I wanted it, and we played with it. But I just honestly I didn't realize that it was that substantial of a sport. That it was actually there were clubs in.
Yeah, there's quite
area.
a few clubs in the GTA area. A lot of people only find us at winter parades, at Santa Claus parades, and that's not really even the great aspect of our sport. I mean, it's great. It's fun to see batons flying in the air, and now we have glow-in-the-dark batons and fire batons, but we're a really competitive sport, and we just actually came home from the World Championships this summer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
And how did that work?
So we came home with 2 silver medals and 2 bronze medals.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're the first club in this area to win that many team medals. So, yeah.
So let's talk about, I mean, how young can you start twirling?
We start our programs at 3 years old.
Really?
Yeah, 3 years old.
They're not bonking themselves in the head with it or
They
anything.
aren't. Well, yeah, sometimes they're more golf clubs or swords, or we treat them like princess wands at 3. But it's good to start that hand-eye coordination, which is really what it's good for.
It really is. Like, you really need to really be paying attention to what you're doing. I'll show you soon, don't worry. But yeah, no, that's it. So you started at what age?
I started at 4.
Okay.
And I grew up mostly doing parades. We used to do a lot of Grey Cup parades, and we'd travel to Montreal for parades. I've performed at Disney World. And then I grew up, when I got a little older, like 10, 11, I started competing.
Okay.
So competitions in the GTA area, and competed in the US.
And it's crazy too, like it's called competition for a reason, but like, because I used to dance, and that was very competitive and very, you know what I mean? And is that the same when you're twirling?
It is. We have a lot of a variety of events in our sport. I think there's like 12 events in our sport, because you can do baton twirling as an individual, you can do it with your best friend as a duet, or one of the teams we took to Holland had 20 kids on it.
Did you say Holland?
Yes, I did.
So you're traveling around the world doing that?
We are. We've been to, my club in the last 10 years has been to Switzerland, Italy, Norway, Holland. It's a very, very big sport in Europe. Huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how old's your oldest?
So my oldest athlete is 27.
All right, so we're not in the 50s yet.
No. Although there is a village group in the United States that are, I think the minimum age you have to be to join it is like 45.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you've competed, you've coached, you're doing everything. So how does one get involved? Like how do I mean, because like I said, it's almost, I'm not going to say, I don't want to use the word obscure, but it's just not, we don't know a lot about it, which is why I bring clubs like yours onto my show so that I can help to create the awareness, and it's fun. Like it looks so much fun.
It is so much fun. It incorporates dance and gymnastics. So it's almost like, I like to call it a 3-in-1 sport.
Okay.
So you get gymnastics. We do a lot of gymnastics, a lot of dance training, and then of course throwing this metal stick up in the air. So we like to call ourselves an extreme sport.
Well, I mean, like, I'm sorry, it could be pretty dangerous, right?
Yeah,
So-
we've had broken teeth, bonked heads. My daughter smashed her nose and split it open at a competition in Michigan and kept twirling for 4 more hours before we went, because we were in Michigan. We were going to come back home before we would get stitches.
Right. Well, yeah, I can see how
Actually
that
came
is.
back to Orangeville and got the stitches because we had a competition the next day here. So it is quite a, extreme sport where the girls have to be, physically fit, especially our competitive athletes. But little kids find us at community fairs or parades. That's really where we're found. YouTube's a great thing now.
Yes.
We're all over YouTube.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, how long did you you're saying, no, oh my goodness, I'm tongue-tied. Let's start from the beginning again. So you're saying your oldest person is in their 20s, and then I'm assuming after that most will start to coach and do that sort of thing?
Yeah,
if
so
they have the opportunity.
Right,
Yeah.
so I started coaching when I was 14,
Okay.
but I was coaching and competing at the same time. So I didn't actually retire until I was like 23, 24.
Okay.
I was getting married, so I thought it was a good time to drop the competitive.
It gets hard because I'll be honest. I was doing competitive dance. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna age myself. Probably not that long. My son was, so it's probably been about 10 years since I've danced. But we were competing. A group of old ladies and I were competing. But it's hard when you have a family and then, your family's into sports. And my boys played rep basketball and they had tournaments and they were not in the same age. So we were going in 2 different directions. And it was like, okay, Mom has to give up her dance. But, you never know. Maybe those ladies are still dancing. So
That's
and they were
right.
older than me. So, yeah.
I loved coaching, so I really wanted to get into coaching. And then when I retired, I started judging. So I judged all over the world as well, too. I've judged in England and I've judged a lot in the US. So I really took on the coaching. And then I had 2 girls, so that was nice.
And they both twirled?
They both have twirled. My oldest one is now retired and one of our coaches in our club. And my younger one is currently at the University of Memphis on a twirl scholarship. So it is something you can do for school too.
It is. You just learn so much because I didn't realize. I mean, like I said, but in the States, I know it's fairly big.
Yeah.
So, do you teach the dance and the gymnastics as well? Like, do you have coaches that coach gymnastics and come in and?
Yep, so we use a variety of community people to help the girls out. So my oldest daughter also is a dance instructor, so she teaches our dance and our baton, and we do have flexibility and gymnastics people that come in and help us. We're all trained as coaches to do all those things. We've had yoga teachers in to help the girls.
Well, because I would imagine, especially like doing gymnastics while you're twirling and throwing, and the flexibility that requires. Because I've seen some amazing videos where people are just throwing it up in the air and they're going down here, it's still up in the air, and I'm amazed at how
it really is
skill it takes.
It really is an intensive sport. You have to have dance training, gymnastics training, and then all the coordination that it takes to twirl. So our elite girls, when they were getting ready for the World Championships, were training 4 to 5 days a week.
Wow.
Yeah. Our little ones don't. They do one class a week, 45 minutes. We play games, we make it fun. They love performing. They always do our Christmas shows and our year-end shows, and then those are the little kids you see at the fairs, and yeah.
Those are the ones that suck you in as a parent. Those are the cute little ones that you see, they're like, oh my gosh, they're so adorable.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give people that were looking to to give this a try? Like how, is it like, is there, I know we were talking about it, is there a season? Is there a part where you start? Because, you know, there's an end of year show, so I'm assuming there's a season that it runs through.
Yeah, so Baton, like a lot of other sports, have evolved into an almost a year-round thing. However, our club offers 2 seasons. We do a fall session, and then we do a spring session that starts in January. So we do 2 sessions, but you can also carry them on. So, but it's good for young kids that don't really know what they want to do yet, that they're not committed for, you know, 10-month commitment when you're 5 is a long commitment.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
you know, we do 3 months. We do a holiday show. So if people are finishing in the winter season, they get to end with their Christmas show.
So where does the club meet in Orangeville?
The club meets at an elementary school. Since we're nonprofit, we don't have our own studio. So that tries to keep our costs down. And we're at the Credit Meadow Elementary School here in town. So this is our first year in Orangeville. So we've been running some open houses, and we're taking spring registration. January.
Wonderful, wonderful. So when you're practicing in a school, how challenging is that with the older kids? Because I would imagine that you throw quite high in order to be able to do something else while it's still spinning in the air. Yeah.
Right. So we have a lot of facilities. Like I said, our programs run out of Richmond Hill, Newmarket. There's the Orangeville Basketball Academy. We use that actually a lot. They've been really great to us. So a lot of our elite girls will go there and train.
Okay.
And we find colleges around the area, and it's renting gym space or open basketball court time.
Okay.
Outside, when the Canadian weather allows it, is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then sky's the limit. So these girls, especially over COVID, we
that
formed
must have
this.
been, yeah.
It was challenging, but we learned new ways to train, just like everybody did. We all went and picked up vinyl mats from Home Depot so the girls could spin and not run through their shoes.
Okay.
And that opened up a whole new world for them. And it saved us a lot of money on gym costs because in the summer we could just hit a parking lot, roll out the vinyl mats, and they were good to go for a few hours. So
awesome. We've got 1 minute left, and I'm getting ready to show you my skill with the baton. So, okay, here we go. Are we ready? This is Tina. Twirling.
Those are horizontal twirls.
Horizontal, and I have one more trick for you.
Which are vertical twirls, which the little kids, we call them scoop the ice cream.
Yes, because you can
scoop ice cream.
Scoop ice cream.
And who doesn't love ice cream?
Wonderful. Is there something that you could show me within our little studio? Yeah?
I bet you I could show finger twirls. This always gets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and if you want to find more information about Stars United, just check out the information that's coming up on the screen in just a few minutes. But yeah, I think thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much. I love talking about my sport. So
yeah.
It's great.
I didn't realize how big it was, like here in Canada, and I really appreciate you coming to help create the awareness.
Well, thank you for helping to create awareness for our sport.
It was my pleasure. And thank you for joining us. Until next time, bye-bye for now.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Think it's okay to drive high? Think again. Drug-impaired driving is as illegal as drunk driving, and in Ontario, the penalties are the same.